You're listening to KSCO AM 1080 Santa Cruz, KOMY AM 1340 La Selva Beach, Watsonville. 5 minutes past 2 p.m. Today is Saturday, October 4th, 2014. 73 degrees at KSCO Studios. Friendly voice Aaron Shore with your local King of the Hill traffic. Central Coast weather brought live to you. Roadways in and around Santa Cruz are congested a little bit. We're going to start off with Highway 1 northbound near the 41st Avenue off-ramp exit. Looks like there is some minor congestion in and around that area. Highway 1 southbound in Santa Cruz is looking all right. Highway 1 northbound near the Highway 17 southbound near the connection to Highway 1 northbound in Santa Cruz as you approach Ocean Street, and the connection to downtown has a little bit of congestion in and around River Street area. Otherwise, looking all right. Highway 17 in the clear as well in both directions. In Hollister, defective traffic signals at 101 southbound at Monterey. Looks like units are still at the scene as of 1:30 this afternoon to clear the defective traffic signals. At 101 southbound at just north of East Dunn. A report of a fire coming from a backyard in a gated community and also near several trees. Units are expected to arrive at the scene shortly. Highs in the mid-70s as far as your northern Monterey Bay Central Coast weather, continuing with light winds in the southwest direction at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your Reporter's forecast for your northern Monterey Bay Central Coast. Northwest winds at 10 knots, wind waves 2 feet or less. West swell 3 to 4 feet at 12 seconds, and southwest 3 feet at 16 seconds. KSCO and KOMY here. Stay tuned for Think Local First next.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Think Local First radio show. I'm your host, Matthew Swinnerton, and yes, this is my radio voice, and that is the last time you will hear that radio voice this hour. So each week, we talk to local entrepreneurs, local business owners in town. We talk about how they started their business, the challenges they faced opening that business, the challenges they face on a day-to-day basis, and then what I love to talk about at the end is what drives and motivates them to keep on doing it. So each week we have 3 amazing guests, and this week is definitely no different. We're going to start off. We have the amazing, I'm going to stop on adjectives because I can keep on going. The owner of Studio Holladay, the man under the hair. Welcome, Ted.
Matthew, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. I know this is exactly what you want to do on a Saturday at 2 o'clock.
Yes.
We don't want to go to our kids' soccer games. We don't want to go to weddings. We don't want to hang out with our family. We want to be on the radio. No, that's okay. And then we have Aaron Hine, president and co-founder of Life Aid Beverage Company. How you doing, Aaron?
Doing wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. You might also know Aaron. He was from Hine Chiropractic Sports Injury and Pain Relief. Center, sorry, not relief. But it was a relief that you gave me.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And then we have Nathaniel Allen. Do you like to call Nate?
Sure.
Okay,
Nate.
Okay, good. Okay, Nate. Nate, and he is the COO at Altera Environmental Incorporated. Is that true? Or is it just Altera Solar?
It's Altera Environmental. We also do groundwater work, but many people know us as Altera Solar.
Okay, great. So those are our 3 guests. This is actually episode number 4, so I think we're off to a good start. You know, I also do Event Santa Cruz, and someone told me before I started it, they said, wait a minute, what are you doing? How can you have a speaker series of 10 speakers each month from Santa Cruz talk about their business? We don't have enough entrepreneurs. We don't have enough interesting people to talk about in town. That is so not the case, and same thing with this show. Each week we have 3 amazing guests, and just from the caliber that you just heard, I think we're off to a good start. So I'm going to leave it open. This is a roundtable discussion that we have. What was the big news of the week? You know, it's funny, last week when I thought about the big news, I thought of it rained. Wasn't that exciting when it rained? Yeah.
Yeah.
But then this week, it just became like 100 degrees. So it's complete opposite. And, you know, everybody's in Santa Cruz. That's like, you know, That's crazy. I got to 100 degrees. But what was the real big news in business in town? Can you guys, anything you can think of?
Well, I know at Life Aid we've ramped up a little bit and hired a couple more local employees. So that's always exciting.
You said two more, right?
Two more, yeah.
Yeah. So what was that? What is that total?
I think we're at 14 local now.
See, and I think that's what's interesting is like I keep hearing that story over and over again from everybody in town. It's like, oh, we just added 2 more. Oh, we just added 3 more. That shows there's really a shift, I think, in the economy in Santa Cruz. Do you guys agree?
Oh, absolutely.
I do, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And it also seems the national news is talking about the job market picking up and more people employed. So it's good to see it locally and nationally. And maybe we are on the path of recovery.
Oh, definitely. Did you guys even see it was 2 weeks ago in the Silicon Valley Business Journal? It was like the 831 edition. Like every story was about Santa Cruz. Yeah, so, you mentioned the national spotlight. We definitely are getting it. We talked yesterday, I think, Ted. There was something that you thought was interesting that was going on in town?
Yeah, actually, I got a couple of things. So over at the Tannery, which is where my studio is now, I'm a graphic designer. I have my studio over at the Tannery. Love it there now. They just broke ground and got full funding for the new theater there. It's a big deal. It's going to be a lovely theater here in Santa Cruz, a welcome addition to the Tannery and to the city. It's kind of cool. They're going to redevelop an existing building that's there and add to it, and it's going to be very modern. Have a courtyard, outside area. It's going to be lovely.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. It's supposed to be like 250 seat.
I think it's 70 something seats.
Oh, 70? Okay.
Yeah, it's a small theater.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a perfect addition to Santa Cruz.
And we
with
don't
proper acoustics and all of that. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. We don't have a place like that. We don't have a place for a proper event space,
right.
I guess you can say, or a show like that, especially with all of you mentioned the sound's going to be there, the video's going to be there, the seats are going to be comfortable.
Yes, exactly. And obviously thanks to Bud Colligan.
Okay.
I believe it's going to be called the Colligan Theater. He's the one who pretty much funded it, from Santa Cruz Works.
So Bud Colligan is our savior.
Yes, he's a lovely addition to Santa Cruz. Not an addition. He's been here for a while, but he's I don't know. Bud coming out lately to the community and expressing his love for Santa Cruz has been so lovely. It really has.
No, and his involvement with the Central Coast Angels and all that they're doing. So
what is the Central Coast Angels? Do you know what they are?
Well, that's the local angel network.
Okay.
Where they're trying to support local businesses and entrepreneurs and startups, and
that's like kind of helping the smaller businesses, right, to help them fund and expand their business. Is that what it is?
I hope to be an angel someday, but I'm not quite there yet. So
you're close. You're getting there.
I'm getting there.
Okay, so that was kind of a news stories of the week. I want to get into it. The first segment is, why did you start it? Why did you start your business? What did it just fall in your lap, or did it take some effort? So let's start off with Aaron. Let's start with you. I want to know the whole story. From the point of, say, Hind Chiropractic. You started your own practice. God, that was hugely successful. God, I think we just mentioned my wife, other people. So many people went there in Scotts Valley. Tell me the point from when you were doing that to where you are now, opening up Life Aid Beverage Company.
Sure. Well, when I was a chiropractor, obviously very engaged in the local community, especially in Scotts Valley, and I was going to the local CrossFit box there. It was called CrossFit North Santa Cruz at the time, and that was the first time I met my now business partner and friend, Orion Mellahan. We were training together, and he had written for the press banner, and I had written for the press banner as well in the past, so we kind of recognized each other. So we started training together and realized that our daughters, Trinity and Sophia, who's right over there, were actually in the same kindergarten class and happened to be best friends in kindergarten, but we had never met each other. So we found we had a lot in common, had a little free time, so we used to golf quite a bit together. Orion's actually a very accomplished electronic dance DJ, house DJ. My wife and I love to dance and have a good time. So, we started brainstorming one night. We were at a camp out together and said, it's just kind of disgusting how our kids are being constantly marketed to with these unhealthy, just garbage drinks, high sugar, high caffeine, high salt. And he said, well, gosh, we should start a beverage company. So it was,
wow.
How did Life 8 start? It was a combination of ignorance, passion, and with fortunately just enough accurate thinking sprinkled in for us to dog paddle our way to success.
But you took a risk, a big risk, because you had a very popular practice already.
Sure.
Yeah. So what was that point where you decided, hey, you know what? I think I should sell this and move on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any entrepreneur knows you can't really have, multiple feet in different pools. You have to commit. You have to push the chips all in if you want something to be successful. And I always thought of myself as very entrepreneurial with previous businesses. And we reached a point where we just had a lunch meeting one day, and he had a successful practice as well as a certified financial planner in Scotts Valley. And we just said, look, this thing's got some legs. Our initial sales numbers look strong. We think we can scale it out. We think we are accurate on the timing in the market and the demand for kind of a healthier beverage line that's still cool, sexy, and hip that appeals to the younger generation. So we took the leap of faith and sold our prospective practices and pushed all in.
So you mentioned, about being an entrepreneur. Do you feel like you were always an entrepreneur? Like some people, they were just born that way. Like, did you have a lemonade stand when you were a little kid?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Down on the west side, I recall.
Really?
Yeah, I used to have a little red cart, and I'd take it down the West Cliff when I was a kid. I grew up on Sacramento Avenue over by Natural Bridges. And,
right.
Oh, yeah, lemonade stand. And it went from there. There's always been some interesting business that I've been working on. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it was funny. I remember the only time I've ever been suspended from school was I used to sell Now and Laters. Do you remember those candies?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so they came in like a pack of 6. So they were like 25 cents to buy a pack. So I would open them up and then sell them for $0.10 each. So I'd make a little bit of money.
Brilliant.
And, yeah. So I had my whole
suspended. They should have made you the principal or something.
Well, because they kept telling me stop doing it. Yeah. And so when I would come in school, all of a sudden all the kids would be around and I would have 50 kids around me passing out the Now and Laters. Yeah. I was making so much money at that age. I was I must have been I don't know, 8 or 9 years old. But yeah, I was doing pretty well.
You
at that
sound
time.
like my son Jude. He's a money guy. He really is. Yeah.
And he has awesome hair the last couple days. The David Bowie.
It's now orange. Yes.
Orange. Nice. Yeah, it's fun to see our kids kind of have that kind of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of have that the kind of willingness to have that entrepreneurial spirit, or just see them doing something.
Sure.
Yeah. That's I think what we want to instill in all of our kids, especially as entrepreneurs. We want our kids to be the same way, and we want them to be excited about what they do and have passion, and and just not just sit there and watch TV. Yeah, and so
right.
Actually, I have my son. He wanted to win something on a radio station the other day, and I was like, I don't want him to spend all the time. I feel like he won't make it. As a parent, you don't want to make him feel bad. It's you put all the work. He called in and won this humongous Star Wars action-packed stuff. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I was like, you know what? I told him later. I was like, you know what? If I tell you don't do something, or if you go out, don't let someone tell you not to do it if you really want it.
Yeah, right.
Just go for it, make it happen. Because I'm always gonna try to shelter you. So, okay. Well, that was Aaron's story, and we're getting close to the break here. But next we're going to have Ted Holladay, and Ted Holladay is definitely one of I would say in town, a good friend of mine, and so I know his story. I think a lot of his story. Actually, my favorite Ted moment is when we had a Ted Holladay roast, where a bunch of people got in town to roast him. We might talk about that next, but anyway, we're off to a commercial break right now. So you are listening to the Think Local First radio station, and we will talk to you in 2 minutes.
From apples to zebras? Well, you can buy anything online, except peace of mind and professional, caring advice. Hello, I'm Matthew King of King Insurance and Financial. Our family-owned agency is celebrating its 50th anniversary, providing Santa Cruz County businesses and residents with valuable advice. King Insurance is proud of being recognized as experts on the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare, as well as on the insurance products you need to protect your business, home and auto, and on the life insurance and financial services you need to protect your family's future. Celebrating our 50th anniversary with you is an important milestone for us. Whether guiding a devastated client through the loss of a home fire or advising everyone through the confusing and unsettling new healthcare laws, we're always proud to be here for you. Yes, you can buy just about anything on the internet, but if you want peace of mind and professional, caring advice, call on King Insurance and Financial, a proud member of Think Local First, 688-1434, or visit us online at santacruzinsurance.com.
The first thing they look at is your shoes. Hi, I'm Ellen Gill.
And if they see you in shoes and socks from Sock Shop and Shoe Company, they'll likely look up to you. Hello, I'm Eric Gill.
Sock Shop and Shoe Company has proudly outfitted Santa Cruz County in the best footwear for more than 25 years.
And with your support, we've turned our little Sock Shop and Shoe Company into a one-of-a-kind shoe store that attracts shoppers worldwide.
As the quintessentially locally owned Santa Cruz store, Sock Shop and Shoe Company proudly supports the efforts of Think Local First to promote the locally owned and independent businesses that make our community a special place to live and work.
And we hope you keep in mind all the local entrepreneurs who provide us with such wonderful variety of places to eat, work, and live, and who build a strong local economy for all of us. When you head out to shop, please remember to
Think local first. People will look up to you.
Welcome back to the Think Local First radio show. I'm your host, Matthew Swinnerton. We are joined today by Ted Holladay, Aaron Hind, and Nate Allen. So we talked a little bit with Aaron about how he started the Life Aid Beverage Company, and now we want to talk to Ted. So Ted, how did it happen? What was the bug that started you into getting into design?
Let's see. When I'm 45, I'm going to be 46 in January. I'm an old man now. When I was 16, I wanted to be an architect, and I found out that there was math involved, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I was horrible at math. And then I found this thing called, at the time, desktop publishing. The Mac had just come out the year before that. And I was like, okay, that's something I could try, and I dove into it. I was a typesetter at a printing plant in Pennsylvania, and then I went to work at a service bureau, and then I've just been working ever since. I went off to college for 2 years and got a degree in theology, but have been a designer ever since I was 16. So it's been, I think, 30 years now, something like that. I'm not good with math again.
So the religion of design?
Yeah. So I've worked at different studios. I've worked at different agencies as creative director, designer, that sort of thing, and started freelancing here in Santa Cruz when I first moved here. And, starting Studio Holladay was a true blessing. Like, I love what I do. I can't imagine doing anything else. I really can't. I love design in all regards. Yeah. Fashion design, architecture, interior design, space design, that sort of thing. But I'm always going to be a designer. So there's nothing that's going to take me from that.
So when you say designer, as designer, as in Ted Holladay designer, what do you design? Is it websites, logos? What? When you say design,
we do that. Yes, there's the obvious things: logos, websites, billboards, business cards, apps, that sort of thing. I like to think of Studio Holladay as a branding firm. Mm-hmm. So we do brands, and we focus on brands. Like, as an example, the MAH, the museum downtown. It wasn't just creating a new logo for them; it was creating a whole system for them to use, and for brand standards guides and that sort of thing, and designing all of the posters and event schedule, collateral, and the signage that you see out front, the wall that you see out front on the steps, everything. So it's not just a logo, it's who that brand really truly is. So.
My favorite part about working with Ted, because I've worked with him on quite a few projects, is I think it's the process. Like, I feel like when I'm with Studio Holladay, there's a process that I kind of like get involved with. I love like the meetings where we sit down and we like, you kind of extract what we're about. What do we need? Kind of, it's not just like, okay, I think this is a great logo for you. Here it is. Here's 3 choices.
Right.
But it's really about the client. Isn't that true?
Yeah, it is true. I always say Studio Holladay does not have a style. It's always about that particular brand, right? So whether it's Instant Magazine, The Ma, designing a book for the making of Doom 3, or designing the brand for the Santa Cruz Public Libraries, they're all totally disparate and different, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it's all about the brand and not Studio Holladay.
I like that. I've never really thought about that. That is, when I think of all of the projects you've done, I don't see similarities with them at all.
Yeah, there's some that are high tech and there's some that are, this or that. And so that's the way, I have to say, every day I walk into my studio, I love it because it's different. Each day I walk in, I'm either editing photos for a photo shoot that I did the day before, or I'm working on a design for a website, or a new brand, or a color palette for a client. I did a color palette for an indoor space for a storage unit here in town. And that was so fun. I haven't done that before, but it was fun. But I know I can meet that challenge. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so that was the fun stuff with Ted. Now let's move over, and we're going to get back to you because we're going to talk about the challenges soon. But let's talk to Nate Allen. Who are you?
That's a good question.
Do.
Altera is it's kind of a complex business. A lot of people don't know. We've been in business for 10 years. We started in 2004 doing environmental engineering work, basically cleaning up gas stations, MTBE, benzene, dealing with county health departments, the state boards. And my brother and I, we're the 2 owners, and we were working at an environmental consulting company doing all this work. And basically, it was part opportunity and part epiphany, but we had that realization that we were literally doing everything for our employer and just basically bearing all responsibility, managing the clients and doing everything. And so it was kind of more realizing that, hey, we could just do this. And once we had that epiphany, it turned into just doing it. We quit our jobs. We had one prospect, and it turned into a good project, and we picked up a couple more. And the next thing you know, we created our own job in Santa Cruz doing the same thing.
So let's go back real fast. So you quit your job. You had a contract, or you had you had a job.
We had a lead.
You had a lead. Okay, lead. So did you have family then to support? Did you have, that's a big risk. Or you just two single guys that okay, we'll try it.
We had we knew enough people in the industry that we can get just independent work here and there, make ends meet. So it wasn't just jumping off the cliff of unknown. We knew we could knock out rent, so to speak, but we didn't know what we could create.
Okay.
And that was the part for me where, I was 24 at the time, and I had no idea what I was capable of. And we just...
Most 24-year-olds don't.
Exactly. We just kind of
Most
focused...
45-year-olds don't.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think we'll ever really know. But, it was just a lot of hard work and just kind of not giving up. I had every roadblock, every challenge. In the beginning, literally, we sold a car, maxed out our credit card debt. My brother was living on my couch. We had 2 laptops, 1 Ford truck, and literally it was just, that's how it started. Very humble beginnings. And 10 years, it's just amazing that 10 years later, we're employing 30 people, and we have a solar division and still have the groundwater, geology, civil engineering work we do.
My dad was just singing your praises today. We've got solar arrays and
Nice.
are off the grid in Bonnie Doon, and so I guess he went into the shop and, oh my gosh, they took such good care of me and this and that. So I was pleased to hear that as I knew I was coming down here.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's part of it. Like, and when you're in business, you really have to serve your clients well, just so they'll talk about you. And,
Yeah,
and like,
absolutely.
I mean, you gotta make your own reputation and protect it. And just, I see every job, every lead as an opportunity to prove ourselves, prove our business, and just do good work. And that's kind of what has kept us alive and going strong.
So why solar? You know, in a way, I mean, when I think of solar, I think of like, it's almost like you guys are like the David and Goliath story. Yeah, you have this humongous beast, which we won't mention the name. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you have you guys that are doing exactly what you're doing, which you're really servicing the clients, and you have such a good reputation in town. Yeah. But why do you think, okay, this is going to work out?
Well, I mean, I was going to school in UC Berkeley, and Clinton was in office, and climate change was an issue back then. I had electric vehicles driving to class, and professors telling me climate change is going to be the biggest challenge of my generation. And so it was just assumed, yeah, people are going to go solar, we're going to be driving electric vehicles, energy efficiency, et cetera, et cetera. And then as I was graduating, George Bush got elected, and the pause button was put on sustainability and the environmental movement for about 8 years. And when Obama got elected and inherited the train wreck of the economy, he wrote a document called Recovery Through Retrofit, where he basically laid out his agenda to create jobs, get the construction industry going again through renewable energy and energy efficiency. So with that in mind, we just knew there was going to be a role. There's always going to be a company that has to be the boots on the ground to build something, whether it's a wind turbine, a solar cell, energy efficiency, groundwater cleanups. These things don't happen by themselves. You need people there. You need someone that can design it, an engineer that can make sure it's all going to work out. You need skilled labor to do the electrical work. So it was mainly just paying attention, understanding that this work must occur, and that, you know, kind of like the field of dreams, if you build it, they will come. If we create a good solar company, we just felt it would succeed.
And it has.
And it has.
So you guys done okay.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
So I think we got a good idea, if you don't know them already, our three guests, of what they actually do. So do you have a question for them? You know, not just, you know, how much does a website cost? Or, you know, yeah, you know, how much can you put a solar panel on a north-facing roof, or whatever, but just about them as entrepreneurs. Why don't you call us? Our phone number is 831-479-1080. That's 831-479-1080. Or if you have a question or a comment, you can just email me, Matthew at Event Santa Cruz. Matthew at Event Santa Cruz, and I'll ask our guest. So, we know who they are. Life is rosy, life is great, everything's perfect, everything they touch is gold.
Oh, wow.
Everything is perfect. We know that's not the
back up there.
We know that's not the case. I think I talked, was it our first episode, I had Zach from Penny Ice Creamery go out, and I was like, yeah, you know, everything you do is like, it just seems perfect. Even like your, you know, talk about gold, and even your kids have golden hair. But we know as entrepreneurs, there's challenges. It's not all perfect. So what are some of the challenges? I'm going to start off with Aaron. Go, you know, what stresses you at night? What keeps at 2 in the morning you wake up and said, oh man, God, that's not good?
Well, I had 0 gray hairs prior to this endeavor. And now, as you can see, that's changed. The challenges, well, you know, there's been several challenges, many challenges. You know, probably the biggest, most shocking challenge that kept me up at night early on was, to tell a quick story, we have multiple drink lines, our current 3, Fit Aid, Party Aid, and Golfer Aid, but we also have registered trademarks around potential future lines. So one of those is Gamerade, for the gaming community. And one day we're in the office, we get a letter from Pepsi, and we open it up, and it's a cease and desist on our Gamerade because they said it was too close to Gatorade, even though the trademark office approved our trademark. So that was one that kept us up a little bit. But I would say, as a young entrepreneur or a startup, making sure you really build out an A-tier team. Too often I think during growth and expansion, we're looking at, we need this role filled and that role filled, and we throw a quick ad on Craigslist and we just hire who are the first people to apply, and we don't really do the due diligence. I'd say what we do now is we really take a lot of time and a lot of effort in the hiring process and make sure that it's not only the right fit for us and our company, but we're the right fit for the individual, because we are a unique bunch of individuals at Life Aid, and we like to have a good time, and we like to get things done. So to be able to keep up in that type of environment, not everybody out there is cut for our company philosophy, and we want to make sure, again, we're a good fit for them. So I'd say the biggest challenge is if you're a startup or thinking about ramping up, make sure you really build out an A-tier team and take your time and bringing people on. I've heard a lot of people say slow to hire, quick to fire type philosophy, and I would agree with that.
Yeah, I can't say that's so true. In my experience, basically the people at Altera make the business, and it wasn't until we had the right personnel that we really got traction and really kind of found our stride. So it's
David Stearns.
It's, in every role, we do all our own marketing, our own sales, our own engineering, and our own building. And I'd say each department of the business has had its learning curve and its hiccups. But good people make all those hiccups a little easier to deal with.
So what are your hiccups?
For solar, it's always getting leads and getting in front of homeowners and talking to them. It's it's a big education hurdle. So I need about 10, 15 minutes of sustained attention to really explain the benefits of solar. And I'd say that's the main hurdle. If we can talk to homeowners and they have an open mind and hear us out, generally they see the light, and it turns into wanting to go solar and that sort of thing.
But Ted?
Do you, going back to what you were saying earlier that you commented on, are you guys both finding that it's easy to find qualified employees here in this town, or is it a hard thing for you?
It's hard.
Why do you think it's hard? Because I deal with that same issue.
And if you think between you guys, it's almost 50 employees that you guys between you three. Yeah.
Well, it's really hard because everyone's resume could look good, everyone's work experience could be misconstrued to qualify. And so it's more just the interview process, asking the right questions, and we've kind of moved towards hiring vetted people that have done it before and kind of have tangible work that they could show us.
Agreed. Yes.
Our process has changed. We don't even accept resumes anymore. We use, on the recommendation of some friends of ours that are very successful entrepreneurs and have a big podcast, number one actually in fitness right now. We implemented a software called Top Grader, and it's it's intensive and extensive in as much as when we put out to our list or a Craigslist ad that they've got to go through this application process. Top Grader is very good at bringing out any potential red flags, and it takes about an hour and a half to go through the whole process. So just the fact if someone's going to spend an hour and a half to fill out your application process, and then
just
from
to
there
fill out for your job.
Correct.
That is.
And then from there, so on our last posting, we got maybe 120 applicants, of which we were able to get it down to 5 very quickly that looked like they'd be a good fit. We did phone interviews from there. Brought in 2 for a live interview and ended up hiring both, and we're still going to put them through psych testing as well, just to make sure that our perceived role for them is the right role, and they're going to be employees no matter what, but we may change roles.
Okay, well, sorry, we would like to keep on talking about this, but we have a commercial break. So We're going to keep on going. We're going to talk about the challenges. I want to find out what mistakes you guys have made. So come back in 2 minutes. You're listening to Think Local First Radio.
The first thing they look at is your shoes. Hi, I'm Ellen Gill.
And if they see you in shoes and socks from Sock Shop and Shoe Company, they'll likely look up to you. Hello, I'm Eric Gill.
Sock Shop and Shoe Company has proudly outfitted Santa Cruz County in the best footwear for more than 25 years.
And with your support, we've turned our little Sock Shop and Shoe Company into a one-of-a-kind shoe store that attracts shoppers worldwide.
As the quintessentially locally owned Santa Cruz store, Sock Shop and Shoe Company proudly supports the efforts of Think Local First to promote the locally owned and independent businesses that make our community a special place to live and work.
And we hope you keep in mind all the local entrepreneurs who provide us with such wonderful variety of places to eat, work, and live, and who build a strong local economy for all of us. When you head out to shop, please remember to
Think local first. People will look up to you.
From apples to zebras? Well, you can buy anything online, except peace of mind and professional, caring advice. Hello, I'm Matthew King of King Insurance and Financial. Our family-owned agency is celebrating its 50th anniversary, providing Santa Cruz County businesses and residents with valuable advice. King Insurance is proud of being recognized as experts on the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare, as well as on the insurance products you need to protect your business, home and auto, and on the life insurance and financial services you need to protect your family's future. Celebrating our 50th anniversary with you is an important milestone for us. Whether guiding a devastated client through the loss of a home fire or advising everyone through the confusing and unsettling new healthcare laws, we're always proud to be here for you. Yes, you can buy just about anything on the internet, but if you want peace of mind and professional, caring advice, call on King Insurance and Financial, a proud member of Think Local First. 688-1434, or visit us online at santacruzinsurance.com.
Welcome back to the Think Local First radio show. I am your host, Matthew Swinnerton. Again, if you have a comment, if you have a question for Ted, Aaron, or Nate, then call 479, that's 831-479-1080. So, we talked about how they open the business. We talked about some of the challenges. I want to hear about the mistakes. Have any of you ever made a mistake as an entrepreneur or in your business?
Never.
Never?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that concludes our show. Now we have a chiropractor now. Okay, who's made a mistake? Who wants to talk first?
I'll go first. Yeah, we definitely made a mistake out of the gate when we started our solar division. We, as groundwater experts, we were in our office it's more like a cave, and we never had to go out in the public, talk to people, market, sell ourselves, or do anything. So when we started the solar division, it was going 0 to 60 on the marketing and sales requirements. And we started out Altera Environmental doing solar, and it just confused the public. No one really understood what we did, and it was kind of confusing. We didn't start out with a good, clear message, brand, and just sloppy beginner mistake. And once we changed our icons and established doing business as Altera Solar, it just clarified what we were trying to do, and it was a measurable effect. So, I mean, just for marketing and branding, that is absolutely essential. It's every startup, every business owner, that's integral. You got to think of that in the startup process, because that's how your phone's going to ring. That's how you're going to get your first client. So respect, marketing, brand, all that stuff. It's essential.
Amen.
No objection.
For your marketing and branding, Ted Holladay, Studio Holladay.com.
There you go. I wish I met you sooner.
One thing that I have to say is one of my biggest mistakes that I've made. It's not really. I guess it's a mistake. You land a big client. I landed Microsoft years ago, and I was able to hire a good 4 or 5 designers. Microsoft fell off, and I had to let those people go. And so not relying on necessarily one client, one revenue stream, to thinking that that's going to continue, it didn't. And so, yeah.
So how about Aaron? So when Coke comes, the Coke Corporation comes and says, we want to buy you out, and you say no, was that a mistake?
I'd say our biggest mistake early on was not choosing a single target market on our product line. We launched 3 products pretty close together, and knowing what I know now about marketing, and we invest heavily in marketing, and especially direct response marketing that has a very measurable ROI on our spend. Going deep into target market is key. We were trying to put on our golf clothes one day and do a golf event, and our kind of
CrossFit the next.
CrossFit the next, and our party clothes the next, and it's been much easier now that we focus 90% of our efforts on the functional fitness and CrossFit market with FitAid, and we've had just incredible strategic byproducts that have resulted from that and been very beneficial for our company.
So you get involved to promote your drink very heavily into like CrossFit. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like it's really good, or it's a good thing to do to attach yourself to another or a partner with other companies? Does that? Well,
there's no official partnership there, but we've got a lot of respect for what they've done, and that's a local company as well. By the way, most people don't know that started right here in Santa Cruz.
CrossFit did.
Yeah.
Right. And how many CrossFits do we have now just in Santa Cruz?
Like a dozen.
We've got about 15, I think, in Santa Cruz. There's 10,000 now worldwide.
And they're full.
10,000. Yeah, they're growing by 150 a month.
There's a naked CrossFit.
Is there?
Yeah.
Where?
I
need to know this, Matthew.
I don't want to know where that
Needs
is.
an address.
Yeah. You don't want
probably a couple beaches up on the north coast.
Right.
That they train at.
Body Dune Beach, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we've gone through it. We've gone through the gamut. We've gone through who they are, challenges, mistakes. Now let's talk about what drives and motivates them to keep on doing what they do. Because it's not always money. We know that. After a while, that would get stale. Even though it's nice, and that's kind of our goal. We want to make money too. But what drives and motivates you to keep on doing what you do, Ted?
Oh, wow, I'm first. Okay.
Yes, you are.
It's money.
It is money. Yeah. It is. To us, it is.
In the end, it kind of is money. But for me to just keep going, I can't sit still. I really can't.
That's why he lives
I got
in
up and
an
went
RV.
out. I got up and went out and walked around during the break. Even during client meetings, I have a hard time. I don't have ADD or anything like that.
Most entrepreneurs do, by the way.
Yeah. My brain is just always going. It's always going. I'm very visual, and I'm looking at this clock up on the wall. I'm looking at the holes in the wall. I'm looking at the soundproofing system in here. I'm evaluating everything all the time as a designer, and so I need to create. I love to take photos. I love to design stuff. I love to make things. And help others with their visual style or whatever it might be, whether it's a brand or their home or the paint in their bedroom even. I help people with that. I love doing what I do. I really do. Yeah.
And it shows. I think that if you do love what you do, it's not a grudging thing where you're just grinding through it. But
yeah. And on that, Matthew, I've had jobs where I'm not going to mention the company's names, where I've been the creative director at a corporation, creative director at a big agency, and it was a horrible, horrible situation for me. I was not happy at all. Yeah. And I don't know, I think, I imagine the two of you are very similar. I love creating stuff myself. I love making something happen myself. And I love impacting this town. I love that. I really do. And all the brands that I've worked on here in town, I'm very proud of. Very, very proud of. And going into work every day is not a job. I work all the time, and I don't even consider it a job. I do get paid to do it, but I love what I do on the weekends. All the time. We're here at the radio station
that's
on
true.
the weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm loving this.
We're working. We're picking up our phones at at 6 a.m. to answer an email.
Yeah.
What do you think, Aaron? What motivates you to keep on going?
Well, someone told me probably over a decade ago now, find out, do what you love to do, and the money will follow. And I thought about that for a while, and I go, you know what? I really love sitting on the beach in Hawaii drinking a Corona, but I couldn't figure out how I could get paid doing that. So, but in all seriousness, I heard a podcast by the founder of Paul Mitchell, John Paul, whatever his name is, also a founder of Patron Tequila, interesting enough. But he said something pretty profound, because the guy's in his 70s now and he's still working full time. And he said, look, I love what I love. I love what I'm doing. I've got a great product line that I'm passionate about. I love the people that I'm working with. Why the heck would I ever stop doing it? And, that's kind of how I look at our product line. I mean, I feel obligated to get people off of soda and off of the energy drinks and off the sports drinks and onto our stuff. I feel obligated to do that. And I love our team. I love what we're doing. I love that we're kicking butt right now. I love that, our model's being proven correct. And, I love the traction we're getting. And it's just been a lot of fun. I mean, it's been challenging. It's been stressful. It's been sleepless nights. But it's also been engaging and getting to deal with some of the biggest A-tier players, the biggest A-tier entrepreneurs around. I mean, it's awesome. And to be considered, in that peer group now has been a dream come true.
It sounds rewarding. I mean, that's what I think to me. Like, if you had a 9-to-5 job, would it be that rewarding? Like, I know some people say, I want a 9-to-5 job, so as soon as 5 o'clock comes around, I can just go home and not think about it anymore.
And the stability of it as well.
Yeah. Well, stability, I mean, is it stability?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I was listening to NPR the other day, and there was somebody said, if you're an entrepreneur, you take a risk, but taking a job is also taking a risk.
Yeah.
You never know if it's going to work out or not. Right?
I mean, all of you three have created something out of nothing. I mean, that's what it really is. I think that's what gets me excited about entrepreneurism is, I mean, you just start something with an idea, and now you have this can. I know Aaron has this can with this great drink inside it. Yeah, that people are enjoying. But that it didn't exist 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are putting their solar panels, Altera solar panels, that they didn't have, and now you're saving them money. You're helping the environment. You're doing websites. I mean, I think of Ted's websites. He's enabling people to have their own business, basically, or to make more sales, to employ more people. And it's like a website. It just comes with a wireframe at first. So you just create it out of nothing, or a brand.
Right.
I just think that it's amazing that you can do something out of nothing. So let's move on then to you, Nate. What drives and motivates you to keep on going?
I'm going to have to say all the people at Altera. I mean, we've been working really hard together, and we got a great group. And just out of respect for them, out of respect for Altera, I just want to see this through and try to establish a real good business that just takes care of its staff, takes care of its clients, and is a role model in the community and how to participate, how to I don't know. I mean, that's kind of it for me. I kind of want to prove you can do business in your own way, and it doesn't have to be chasing dollars and cents and margins, and as most people assume business owners are. I mean, we're all here for unique reasons, but it's definitely not the chase profit.
And your brother is your partner, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
James.
Correct.
Yeah. So James, do you guys always get along? Always come up with the right idea?
We're brothers. We have our moments.
Who's older?
James is my older brother. He's 3.5 years, but we never went to the same school. We were 4 grades apart. So he was graduating from high school as I was an incoming freshman. So I avoid a lot of the hazing in high school from my brother and things like that. But I mean, generally, we have our moments, but it also brings the best out of us. We both have different perspectives, different approaches. And when we're faced with a challenge and we both argue and hash it out, the cream rises to the top, so to speak. And I feel like that process has done many good things for us.
And you're working with your brother. I
Yeah,
mean, that's kind of cool.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
I would like to work with my brother. You should see my brother. Totally different. He's 200 pounds and like tall, big guy, and I'm this like 125 pound guy. And he's my smaller brother, my younger brother, bigger brother.
It seems to work out that way.
He can beat me up basically. So why I have all three of you here is I try to get a theme for every week. And I look at you guys. So we got a designer, a beverage maker, a solar panel installer here. What's the theme here? I think you guys have the cool factor. Yeah, and they all laugh at me, but and it's funny. Like a lot of events I do, or the radio show, whatever. It's like I need the cool factor, but this is coming from a 40-year-old guy that's trying to come. It's like you always kind of I don't want to be. Yeah, I want the cool factor somewhat. You guys have it. Your business. I mean, it's like, oh, Studio Holladay did my website, or you think of like solar panels. Like I don't know, just like it's kind of like your people. Like the whole idea of Altera Solar. Just people like want to be a part of you. And then of course with the drinks, I mean, just even like looking at your Instagram, it's like you guys have cool people. You guys are, it's like, again, everybody just wants to be around you guys. How do you think you keep the cool factor going with your business? Any ideas on that? I know it's like kind of like, okay, it's a softball question there, but it's true. I want to know, how do you keep the cool factor?
We have fun.
That's what it is. Just enjoy yourself.
Like, we'll do events all around the country, and you're dealing with some of the top athletes in the world. I mean, early 20-somethings, and they're training hard, disciplined diet.
Yeah.
And we bring the party to the show. I mean, everyone knows it's like, hey, you guys want to have fun? We work hard, and we have a good time, and we make sure everybody's having a good time. So, we may be a little older, a little more seasoned, but we can still hang.
Do you promote a lot here in Santa Cruz to the local community?
Yeah, I mean, we've been real fortunate. When we first started out, the New Leafs brought us on, Deluxe Market, Scotts Valley, Ben Lomond Market, Deeks, so Shoppers Corner. So we've got a lot of local support, which has been great.
Cool.
Great. So before I forget, this whole show, it's all about our sponsors that have helped us to do this show. So I just want to mention to them that Jabico, a great website designing development firm. Staff of Life. Have you guys seen that building? Have you guys been in that store? Yeah. It's like they do so much above and beyond for the environment. They are the locally owned health food store. King Insurance and Financial. They had a great commercial. I love a commercial. It's like what I like about him is he'll sit there and talk to you instead of just clicking on a website to for insurance. And we know as business owners, you need proper insurance so you can sleep at 2 in the morning. Yeah. And then the sock shop, that is such an awesome shop. And it's not just socks. They have the coolest shoes. And if you want to see nice shoes, look down at Ted's shoes. He always has nice shoes.
I actually do. I have flip-flops from the sock shop on right now. Not shoes though.
Awesome. See, I'm trying to find the right word, but they're great. Okay, well that actually pretty much ends our show. So, are you a Think Local First member? Well, I hope you are. If you have a business in town, do you want to get tapped into the community? Join Think Local First. Their website is thinklocalsantacruz.org, or you can email me and I can point you in the right direction, matthew@eventsantacruz.com. We are looking for an intern, basically an intern to produce the show. Would you like to do that? Would you like to be part of radio and get involved with local entrepreneurs? Then contact me as well or call the station. I want to do a humongous thank you to Darren Oden. Darren Oden is filming our show for us. So now we're going to have a beautiful looking film show that we'll be putting online whenever our website is actually up. But I don't want to point you in to the website yet because it's not finished. So anyway, that's our show. Thank you again also to our engineer, Aaron Shore, for doing such a great work to keeping the show going. Tune in next week, same time, same bat channel, 2 o'clock on KSCO. We're listening to the Think Local First radio show. Have a great weekend.
You're listening to KSCO, serving SoCal, Soledad, and Lucia.